Alright, it's your boy coming back at you with the SMG tier list here. Coming at you with the nuttiest listing here. As you can see, from the S tier to the D tier, we got some interesting picks here. Now the A tier, you see the little asterisk next to the P90. I do that when an attachment, like one attachment is what makes or breaks the gun essentially. Like the attachment puts it in a higher tier than I otherwise would put it in. Okay, so in this video I'm gonna go backwards because I always hit it from the back. So let's start off with the Mini-Uzi. And this is just a truly terrible gun. There's nothing, like I couldn't even think of any pros about it because there's nothing that it does better than any of the other submachine guns. If you look at fire rate, damage, hell, even the iron sight is bad. It doesn't do any, it doesn't fill any niches, so it's just not good. So I put it in the D tier class because at the end of the day, when I asked myself, would I rather run around with a Mini-Uzi or an F2000, I leaned towards the Uzi. And that I feel is almost down to opinion. You could interchange those. You could put the Uzi in F tier, you could put the F2000 in D tier, you could put them both in F tier. They're both bottom of the barrel guns, so yeah, trash. Okay, so we're gonna skip over the C tier and go straight to B tier. I felt like these guns fit better there, starting with the Vector. Now the Vector has the fastest fire rate in the game of any gun, and it's actually insane. I think if you want my recommendation, I would take extended mags because the mag on it isn't big enough to hone the insane fire rate it has. So this thing up close, shotgun range, absolute bullet hose, and might even be best in class for like shotgun ranges or shorter even. So yeah. You're gonna have a hard time hitting people or killing people from a far distance because it has such a big fire rate and it's low damage, and it's just it's not exactly, you know, a laser, so you're gonna have a hard time killing people at far range. Okay, let's move on to the next B tier gun, the MP5K. So this gun, it doesn't do anything bad, but it doesn't do anything well either. You know, it has more reasonable damage, higher than the Vector, but also a slower fire rate. And I think the recoil is fairly high. It's pretty bouncy, you know, it bounces around a lot, so it is sort of difficult to kill people at long ranges. And I think this gun sort of it fills the same niche as the UMP, only shittier. So this is kind of the shitty UMP. You know, there wouldn't be any reason to use this over that gun. But nonetheless, it feels about on par with the Vector as far as how well you're going to do with it. Okay, and let's move on to the controversial A tier, P90, coming in. Okay, so you are reading that right. The reason I put it in A tier instead of B tier with the other two is the akimbo. I like to run it akimbo rapid fire, but I'm sure akimbo works as well without it. But for some reason, the akimbo attachment on this gun is so much more fluid. It feels so much better than the other submachine guns. Like, I don't think I'd run any other submachine gun akimboed other than the P90. So, it's definitely not for everybody. I think it really rewards players that are good at running and gunning and flopping around and outplaying their opponents mechanically. For example, I like to use this on Scrapyard and really run around and spray and pray the shit out of people. And this thing has a large enough magazine size to be able to do that. So I think that's part of the reason why this works. And the other reason is just more fluid and accurate, I think, than the other ones from a hip for whatever reason. So go ahead, give that a try. It's not going to be for everybody, but I myself can pop off with it, and I think that's what puts it just a little bit ahead of the B tier guns. Okay, so let's move on to the S tier, the undisputed king. You all knew it would be here, the UMP. Now this gun, like I said about the MP5, it doesn't do anything bad, but it almost does everything well. Like, that's the difference. It's essentially an assault rifle with all the benefits of having it be in the submachine gun class without any of the cons, right? So it is the only two-shot kill gun in the submachine gun, so it's the highest damage. The recoil is very manageable as well. You know, on top of that, the icing on the fucking cake, I think it has the best iron sight out of all the submachine guns. So the only con I could really think is that it has a slower fire rate, you know, slower than the P90 or the Vector, but everything else, its accuracy and damage, more than makes up for that. So imagine, you know, it has a tighter hip fire for being in the submachine gun, and also has maxed out mobility, so you can run fast with it. But the thing's, you know, behaves like a fucking assault rifle, and I think that's why it's the most widely used gun, because it's the most versatile. You can, you know, run this thing close, mid, and high range, and it's gonna do you well. So, you know, most people like to put the silencer on it. I think that the silencer adds just a little bit more accuracy and makes it, you know, feel a little more smooth when you're firing with it, and I think that's why a lot of people like the silencer, on top of the silencer just being a potent attachment. So definitely a good shout there, but you can honestly run just about anything on this and do well. That's the submachine gun tier list. Let me know what you guys think, or you guy, that one guy that watches. Shout out to my boy SecZC. I'll let you pick the next set of guns that I do if you manage to make it this far and comment. Go ahead and choose the next set. I'll be more than happy to make that and hear any arguments anyone might have. So, thanks for watching.